incidents of security. But Nana, when you go for NSPPD, you should be praying for Ghana as well.
I pray for Ghana.
I see your I see your NSPPD.
Yes. We did pray in the show.
You know, I am particularly not excited, you know, hearing all these issues of security. But some of them can be, you can hazard a guess and know why some of them are happening. Growing up as a chief, you cannot walk alone. In my village, I mean, I'm an Anglo, and for that matter, Isome. And you'll never see any chief, whether small, big, fat, slim, whatever, walking alone. Two things you will observe is either he's walking with a team of people, or he's working with his dog, or with a staff. Now, those were to signify those days that you are not alone, and therefore you cannot be abducted. But these days we see chiefs, you know, that are mingling with everybody, and as though there are no issues at stake. Of course, it's good for our cohesion and all that, but I think that we need to revert to the point where we see our chiefs not only as traditional rulers, but also as people who play a critical role in the survival and livelihoods of people within their jurisdiction. And so you look at the issues, and you can, I don't want to hazard a guess, and I'm not going to say that on air, because the sensitivity of this matter is very, very. So you can see the undercurrent. Some of them are chieftaincy issues on the side. Disputes. Some of them are land disputes on the side. Then the Galamsey issue coming out. The chiefs that have become bold and saying no Galamsey in my area are beginning to suffer some attacks and all that. And then the police stations that you find to these are also in the, albeit Galamsey environment, equally chieftaincy environment. And we have seen this, you know, going forward. I think that government, one of the things the government should do is to go very, very, very blunt on some of these incursions, because the last you want to have is a state of emergency, or a state where the country is on these tenterhooks, or people are no longer safe because of a few greedy, bastard or idiots that are in society and wanting to have their way. And so I want government to be very, 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 you know, blunt when it comes to security of the state in those areas where the attacks are coming from. I've heard people say that, oh, their community is their headmaster, former headmaster. I understand he was headmaster in the Sojamine secondary school at the time and all that. So a lot of people have been pouring in some tributes and all that. We understand he was murdered in the farm or something. I don't know if it's the same story, but that's what I picked up and all over the place. I sympathize with the family, and I know the President of the Republic will sympathize with them. I'm sure he will even make a dash there if he's in town to see what is happening and assess the situation. But we need to move forward as a country. You move forward in peace, move forward in one piece, not in the multitude of, you know, a few greedy ones that just want to take advantage of what is happening. I mean, chieftaincy, apart from some of the loud ones, when I say loud, I mean in terms of size, that give some benefit to the ruler, I don't see many of them. Many of them don't have that kind of leisure or that kind of financial backing.
A great number of them are not even known.
Yes, some don't even have cars, excuse me. Some still walk, some still take torture and all that. And so what is there to admire? What is there to, not to admire, but what is there to envy? That's the right word, to envy about some of these positions. But you see people doing it. So the hatred may be because of chieftaincy, it may be because of land dispute, maybe because you have, you know, like you rule in a matter and one party is not happy and they want to take revenge and all that. It happens, even though our judges and all that. And so we need to be preemptive. We need to circle around some of these traditional rulers, the security apparatus of the country. That's why even the Local Governance Act, we deliberately put chiefs as part of the system, so that their security can be guaranteed and all that. And then we need to also find out at what level are we gazetting these our chiefs. Most of the chiefs that have been gazetted are not properly, you know, installed. Some of them have challenges with even their seat and all that. Right in my own constituency, there are issues about chieftaincy. There are issues all over the place and all that. And we think that we need, one of the points to have peace in this country is through the chiefs, because they play a critical role. I've heard Otunfa saying just over the weekend or last week that you should refer land disputes to me.
Yeah.
They said land dispute and something else to me, and I thought that was laudable because some of the land disputes that we have in this country have been in court for 30 years, 40 years. Even the applicants themselves, finally have passed on, and some of those cases are still pending and all that.
Right.
So there are cases we can resolve by arbitration, by mediation, and all that, using our traditional authorities and all that. And then also they themselves also must be avoiding politics because some of the issues that we hear sometimes is because my chief is MPP, my chief is NDC, and so those on the other side wants to pay back and all that and all that. Some even are bold to talk to them in the face, in the open, on platforms, insult themselves and all that. I think that the revered institution of chieftaincy that we came to meet as young people must continue to play a very big role in our development agenda. Many years ago in my village, in many parts of the Volta that I know, chiefs were the development agents. We didn't even have district chief executives and all that we have today to become development agents. We used to have assemblymen, the chiefs and the headmasters. These were the people who were in fronting and leading development in our country. We need to get back to the basics and not make everything politics and not make everything...
Let's look at the issue of the illegal mining attacks.
The issue of illegal mining, like I said, some of them are presumptive. We are able to tell that this is what the reprisal attacks we are likely to get. The issue, the one about the NAIMOS, which one MP has been taken to court. I just pray that some of these things are not true. I mean, he's giving his version of the story. Indeed, it's not even his constituency. He was attending a funeral. All this will be proven in court that truly he was attending a funeral, and what funeral it was, what time it was, whether he actually got a call from his colleague to intervene in the matter and all that. But then I have also said that, and I have seen this a lot of times, when people are in trouble, for instance, in the police station, and they call me, and I show up at the police station, you see that there's a certain, immediately, the one who has been arrested, the accused immediately start misbehaving because they feel, help has arrived. And I've listened to MP for Ketu North, Edom Agbana. He gave a very sweet narrative. I'm saying that even though I have a personal experience with it, but I'm saying it because he's a colleague MP that is involved. And he said that there are times that in his constituency, for instance, an MP is passing by or going through your constituency, and then you are called. Oh, bro, I'm in your constituency. Oh, wow. Oh, there's a maternal funeral. Oh, that's my cousin's funeral. Oh, I see. Oh, wow. Exactly. Then, step in for me. I'm not even aware of the funeral. So he goes there, he makes a donation on your behalf. Meanwhile, it's your own constituency, but you're not in town. Or he's in the constituency, a colleague of yours in the constituency, and there's some chaos. And then you place a call and say, bro, I beg, please help me. There's one of my guys have been arrested. Can you please step in for me? And I'm saying that because these are political leaders, the people owe them more allegiance than to even the statutory authorities like the police, the military, and all that. So when they have crisis, the person they call is their political leaders. And I think that it is more of a decision that he didn't take a bigger picture. Look at the bigger picture. He just showed up, and it turned out that when he showed up, the people became more aggravated and decided to misbehave. I pray, and I want to believe that he won't openly. I mean, nobody would think that an MP will openly want to go and confront the NAIMOS team that is fully armed. I mean, that would be the biggest error of your life, to go confronting a very armed militia that is on an assignment. Number two, we are also told that the NAIMOS team did not plan an operation in that place. In other words, they were going somewhere, went to finish, and they were coming back, and they got an alert that this. And this is one of the things that we should be mindful of. You are an operational team. You work on tip-offs, but before you get to a scene to say that you are going to combat something, be prepared. I don't know if you get my point. Be prepared for what you're going to do. You don't do operations because you got a tip-off, and that tip-off did not give you time to plan on how to execute your plans. For instance, if I was in that team and I was an operational member, one of the things you would have done is that once you have gotten the tip-off, you can retreat, leave it.
Indeed.
You will get them again.
Because what if it was a setup?
Yes, what if it was a setup? What if it was a ploy? It would have been more disastrous. So while we condemn the activities of people who got themselves involved there, we should be condemning the operational team, that particular one, not the whole NAIMOS, the particular team that went on that operation should have been a bit more, what do I say, circumspect, tactical, yes, circumspect, tactical, and a bit more retrospective in what they are going to do. You don't just run into a team of people who are already armed. I mean, by their operation, they know that all the Galamsey sides are armed. And then you want to do an operation, you will get a certain kind of revulsion from the people, and that's what happened. And for me, I think that the NAIMOS team even though they are doing a good job on this particular issue. When even they saw that Chale is going to be confrontational, they could have just walked off from the scene and come back at another time. When the people, they are prepared, when they are ready, they would have even what they call that word. There's a security word that lay ambush and all that. You know, because this was because these people we are told that we're doing this right on the main road, or by the side of the main road. So how difficult is that an exercise? But you went there, the noise, and it's not everybody who gathered there are from the Galamsey side. Even the community people joined them. And you can see that where the car was even parked, was not even the OP for you to even exit. I thank God that they exited. I thank God that there were no major casualties, as we say. I also thank God that the lives of our people are preserved. However, I mean, this is a guide to all of them that let's be conscious in the way we approach some of this. Know that we don't always record some of these incidents and make it look as though Ghanaians are that violent and all that. I don't think we are that violent. What I do know is that there are influences of foreigners in this our Galamsey space. We have Nigerians, we have Cote d'Ivoire. In fact, the last arrest, they arrested about 33 Nigerians. 34 Nigerians, only about 4 or 5 Ghanaians amongst them. So you can see the influence of other nationals in our space. That's why I also believe that the National Ghana Immigration Service must also be up and doing some of these things. Because there are people in this country that are staying here illegally, people in this country that have come through illegal means into this country, people in this country who are misbehaving and doing all kinds of things, even without the right permit to be in this country.
Yeah. Well, on that same score, I think we must also commend them for, on hindsight, being professional. Because when they felt the threats of the masses there, if one person had let go of a shot, we would have been counting dead bodies.
That is why. You see, even letting go of a shot, people think that it's always when you put a trigger. What about if any of those people had collected their weapon?
True. What if they had been overpowered?
Yeah, so it's not only their success, it's also the success that God has been very merciful to them, to all of us. You know, to all of us, especially when you know that this whole Galamsey, death started with Major Mahama, the late Major Mahama. It was also Galamsey. At that time, we didn't know the gravity of Galamsey, but today we know. And so you want to go and do an operation, be careful, be ready, be prepared. That is why when I even saw, one of our own, a party executive who was leading the charge in the forest, I wasn't very comfortable. I wish I could place a call to her. I sent a message anyway that, hey, this is not your field. This is not your area. Indeed. This is a military operation. This is
leave the professionals to do their work.
The professionals. Be in the regulatory mode in your framework. And leave the operational direction and leave the operational for those who are tactful and ready to do it. I remember many years ago when what was the name of this former director of operations CID? It's a lady, Rose Biotinga.
Oh, okay.
I remember many years ago when she was in charge of operations. One of the things they were doing was, call it shoot and kill. When the armed robbery was very high at the time, and they interviewed her and asked her, why do you always shoot and kill? These amnesty people were talking about, what's the name, human rights and all that. And he said, well, it's not a problem. We didn't intend to shoot and kill. If you want to protect human life, come and let's go for the operations. When they are shooting at you, tell them that it's human rights and stay there. So indeed, in the bosom of every security operative that is armed, they have it at the back of their mind that under attack they must defend themselves. And so yes, we can commend them, but I'm saying that what if they were overpowered? What if those guns they were holding, those ammunitions they were holding had gone into the wrong hands? Then the crisis would have escalated.
Right.
And so we need to be very tactful. We need to program when, how, and the details of those operations. Look at the way America does operations. When they were picking Osama bin Laden, it was neat. When they were even going recently, it was neat because they plan, they dot every I and cross every T before the operation is done. I think that is what we should be doing.